For many months now, I have been busy building my very own dream theme park in Planet Coaster 2, with a huge abundance of different rides, roller coasters, and even now a hotel. That is right, if you somehow didn't see the previous episode, we built a very important part of the park, and that was the main front entrance, finishing all of that, including the hotel, which in this episode I'm going to be giving a name to. And also in this video we are going to start building one of the craziest things I think I've ever built in both Planet Coasters in our brand new area, which is going to include a roller coaster as well. So be sure to watch till the end so you can see the full depths of this dark ride, and be sure to subscribe as well so you don't miss future episodes, because as I said in the previous ones, this series is going to get so much more exciting the longer it goes on, and I can't wait to show you this entire area, including this dark ride. Yes, welcome back to episode 14. If you can't tell, I'm ill. Again, pretty sure I was ill for the first few episodes of this series. I'm ill again, which is why there's been a bit of a delay for this series, and I apologise for that. There shouldn't be going forward, to the point where there might even be multiple episodes a week. Can you imagine? But for now, we're going to have to deal with this right here. And I say deal with, this was so much fun to build. This has been over the past like 2 or 3 weeks almost, actually building this project. You saw in the previous episode, there was an under construction area behind this Chinese temple looking thing. This is what it's going to be themed to, a Chinese temple. But I have been building this for quite some time. Been teasing it as well. You may have seen it in the little gardens bit that we made in the previous episode, one of the ride cars or whatever it is to do with this ride. Something was in that gardens, and I've had loads of fun building this, and I can't wait to show you the actual finished result, because it's probably the best thing I've ever made in this game, I can't lie to you. But as you can see, we are starting off trying to build a fake ride car. You might be like, why are you building a fake ride? It's because this ride doesn't exist in the game, and I really wanted to test my engineering skills and how I do this game by building something that doesn't exist using rotational pieces. So much like the Jeeps ride that we're also going to be naming in this episode that I built last episode, we will make another flat ride underneath that guests can ride, so it looks like they're queuing for the ride that's inside, but they actually won't ride it. So, and also this one you can't actually POV, because it is so technical. Trying to POV it would be a nightmare. So what actually is this? Now, if you know, I went to the Efteling very recently, and I really enjoyed my time there. Obviously they've got Baron 1898, the dive coaster, they've got Joris and the Drac, the wooden roller coasters, and they're very well known for their dark rides such as Symbolica, and more recently, Danse Macabre. That is an Intamin motion platform ride, the first and only in the world. And I thought it'd be cool to make the second ever one in the world. Obviously, that ride type is not in the game at all, there's nothing similar to it. It's pretty much impossible, because if I show you the animation on screen right now, it pretty much, you sit in these sort of stalls, they call them on Danse Macabre. You sit in them, and then you spin around individually on your own little platforms, whilst the main platform you're all on spins too. It also tilts up and down and spins different directions, and there's just so much going on that dark ride. I thought it'd be amazing for this park, especially in the Chinese temple theme. So, already, if you have any names, let me know. But obviously you haven't seen the inside yet, and this video is going to be a little bit different actually, because I've time-lapsed me building the individual ride car, which I'll obviously duplicate across to the different sections because all the ride cars are the same. But you'll also be seeing just a lot of live updates to do with this project, not necessarily time-lapse footage, because a lot of it was just me programming it, and that's kind of boring. What you want to see is the finished product. So I've done a few live updates here and then, and you'll see them in due course. But as you can see, adding this to the rotational platforms and then duplicating it across to try and make all 6 different stalls. Honestly, I had so much fun with this. It was very tedious. If it was on the old sequencer that was in Planet Coaster 1, I think I would have died. But genuinely building this, I've enjoyed it so much. I love making things that aren't supposed to work in the game, but they just do. And this was one of those things. I'm really tempted to make some more flat rides and stuff like this. There's so many different rides in the game that aren't there but they are in real life, whether they be SPNO or not. And there's so many different possibilities with these things. Like I've been thinking about like a hex style ride, so obviously Vekoma Madhouse where the room spins around you. Been thinking about that a lot, to the point where this was actually going to be that. I was thinking, gonna build a hex type ride in this Chinese temple, be really cool. And then I remembered the Phantasialand one in their China area is pretty much a Vekoma Madhouse. It is a Vekoma Madhouse, so why would I want to copy them? So I decided to go for Danse Macabre, the Intamin motion platform ride, as much as this is a lot more complicated, because that one you just need one little thing that goes round in a circle round the room and the seats, and this one you needed so much more because it just got so complicated. There's clockwise and anti-clockwise rotational devices that sort of set off at different times so it can tilt up and down. There's different things that you can see it there. It's spinning way too fast on the time lapse. But as you can see, at a normal sort of pace there. Oh, never mind. The individual ride cars spin and managed to do that, and I've attached them to a main platform in the center that spins by itself. And as you can see, we even have different sequences for different things, and I'll show you more about that later in my little op cabin. But as you can see, it does tilt using that anti-clockwise and clockwise motion platform thing. I'll explain it more later. And I also have a vertical one as well. Obviously that's just tilting more. Here's that vertical one in action. Like I just said, it literally just goes up and down like a bit of a drop, like the motion platform can do. And you can do all of these different things using the different sequences at different times. So you could have it tilt at the same time as going up and down and spinning as well, as you can see there. You're going to see a lot of this, but a lot more choreographed eventually. And with a lot of the mechanism done and the sort of sequencing, it was time to start the theming. And as you can see, it looks nothing like a Chinese temple right now, but on the inside I've done a little bit more and it looks more like a Chinese temple. But I built this over such a prolonged amount of time and in different sections again that I couldn't really film everything, because even here the queue line is beginning to take shape. I've done it in a different format to Danse Macabre's one. But yeah, that's coming along nicely too. And here is a work in progress look at the inside of it so far. Of course, we're going to go further into this episode and you're going to see a little bit more, but I've got all of the different sort of sequences there. You've got lighting, lower level, ground level, centerpiece, all of the different theming aspects that can move, platform, tilt, vertical, and all ride system for the different, you know, sort of things it does, like the tilt that you'll see now. There you go. We've got the lanterns above. And just sort of tilts like that, and then yeah, you can literally press any of these. You can make one car spin or all of them depending on what you want. Let's just make the one spin. There you go. It will just start spinning on its own. Look how lonely it looks. But I really wanted the op cabin to have a really cool view into the ride area, and yeah, you can see it here with the sort of incense in the center and different like planting around, some really cool patterns on the walls, very stone looking with the lanterns as well, and it just looks really, really cool. I'm very happy with it, as I am everything that I build, because I always say that. But as you can see, it's spinning around. It is actually functioning as a dynamic motion platform. I've got a few lights going already, but again, this piece of footage is work in progress, so in the dark, when all of the scenes are ready and everything like that, it will look so much better. But you can see all the individual ride cars spinning at different speeds, and you know, they all spin in very similar directions, they have very similar sequences, but especially towards the beginning of the ride, you're all going to look in one direction and sort of see something happen at once, and then you might start tilting up and down, jumping up and down like that. But at this point as well, the outside was starting to come together. Of course, I want to go for that Chinese temple theme, and with that you have to build these very like huge roofs with like these little bits that come outwards at the top, and you know, it's going to be a very difficult build because there isn't actually a sort of Chinese theme in the game, but from this angle already it's starting to look like it suits that theme. Here's a quick look at the updated top section, the sort of vibe I'm going for with this Chinese temple. If you've seen the sort of Chinese temple looking entrance thing I made in the distance, I was sort of basing it off that with a lot more detail, so you can see all the lanterns and the wood poles and the patterns and everything on the wall. I'm in the jungle, whoops, and you can actually see it from different locations. But it looks kind of nice, you know. Not well. Where am I? It looks kind of nice through the trees. I'm excited to see this come together now, and you're going to see that in just a second, because you join me here in the park in Amazonia, not at the entrance for once. And the only reason I'm here is because usually we go through all the renamed rides and I sort of show you everything I've done to them since, but because I've been ill and also, you know, I've been mainly focusing on the big temple over there, I haven't had the chance to give an entrance to them. We're going to go through the names anyway. Of course, the main thing we built last episode was the hotel, and I have gone for the name Hotel Lunaris, and that is by Coaster Keegan. So thank you very much for the suggestion on that. I think Lunaris, just the way it sounds very Ethereal's Gardens-esque, which is what this area is called. The fact we've got a coaster called Euphoria, the Celestial Carousel, and the Antique Road Cars, which I will also be giving a name to. Hotel Lunaris just suits that, and I really like it. As for this car ride, I have gone for the name Ethereal Autos, and that name is amazing, and it was by Spy Kimus. Sorry if I got your name wrong, Spy Kimus. Thank you very much for that suggestion. I think the name Ethereal Autos is just perfect, especially because the area is Ethereal Gardens. And then for this little ride here, the little Ranger Roundabout, that's what I've gone and called it. Shot 206 Plane suggested that name, Ranger Roundabout, and I think it is just such a fun name, especially for a ride like this, a kid's ride. And I really do like that because it is literally just an ongoing forever roundabout. Where did they just come out from? They're walking through my rocks. But in the next video, I can promise you I will get entrance signs and stuff done for that. I just haven't had the time recently, and I've been focusing all of my work, as said, on the thing behind the trees there. Now down this way, there will be a proper entrance to the area. You can already see the pathway going in there, but I wanted to show you a different route that I created that I'm pretty happy with, and that is down these stairs and sort of passing by that section of the rapids down there. And if we turn this corner, again, not fully complete with all the foliage and stuff, but you can get a really, really cool view of the Chinese temple. There it is. That is it in its full glory. I wanted to make it look very grand walking up to it, and as much as it's not the tallest building in the world, it is quite a wide building. So yeah, I really like that, and the trees and the planting is very neat and tidy. Yeah, I'm so proud of how that came out. Obviously, you can see that is literally the one section of the area I've completed, because I haven't done the entrance or anything like that, purely because the next big ride in the park is going to be the most extreme one yet, and it is going to run along a lot of this area. So I want to make sure that I have space for it and I can theme it all in once I've done the ride. But the entrance for this unnamed ride, which if you have any name suggestions or like storylines that I could do on the inside, let me know in the comments please. The entrance is going to be over in this section here, probably in this sort of straight line here, and then we're going to have a nice Chinese like gardens area around this bit with some buildings. Then you're going to head into the main ride. As said, there will be a coaster running somewhere in the background, so it might even go over to the queue line over here. So yeah, as much as I haven't had the time, I'm still waiting for that coaster in the next episode to actually do that. But if we do head inside, as you can see, we've got the numbers I showed you earlier. This is how you know sort of where to go and what gondola you're going to sit in. So for instance, say I am number 3, we'll go all the way down here and then we will hitch a right turn over here. Again, some more lights will be needed in here. And we turn in through these doors when they open to the main area. It's very dark in here. Let me turn my flashlight on. There we go. As you can see, there's a few wooden borders in the walls, a few things sticking out. Also a few walls missing. And that is again purely because I've been working so hard on the actual ride system. Look how laggy it is. The scenes and stuff. I thought I'd ask you guys for some, you know, help. Pretty much in the ride sequence, like Danse Macabre, I want to have things that people can look around and see, like animatronics moving and everything. So my idea was maybe like a Chinese dragon, or to go for the sort of the Chinese New Year theme sort of thing. But I wanted to see what you guys think, so I've left a few little holes here and there. These wooden borders will be completely changed. So yeah, this won't be a finished look at the ride, but I'll be showing you that next episode, and we're gonna watch it do its thing today anyway. But first of all, let's go behind the scenes a little bit, and let's go into the floor, where we can see just a lot of rotational devices. Each little ride car has its own 4 sort of, you know, rotational spin things themselves. This is pretty much the same, but for the big platform, along with the actual incense in the center. And as you can see, there is this rotational one on the side. That is literally the mechanism that does the tilt. As you can see, it sort of spins that one a little bit, but that one is trying to counteract it which makes this platform spin slower, which is how you can tilt it only a tiny bit rather than 90 degrees and making everyone fly out. I know I didn't film every single thing to do with this mechanism, but that is purely because it was so much trial and error. It genuinely took me forever to get it right. But eventually, like shown in the time-lapse, you can see I managed to get them all working. So yeah, I could literally set off the 1 or the 2 or the 3 or the 4 or even the low level like fire and theming and stuff. But for now, let's actually click this full sequence button and see what this ride does. If I click play sequence, bear in mind this might be a bit glitched because it's one of the first times I'm doing this. As you can see, all the lights go off in the center. I told you, there's literally still a red light on. That's not supposed to be on. And as you can see, the gondolas start spinning. And they all start facing the same way to begin with. And then it will slow down. And at this point, it should mostly be dark in the room. But clearly, I've glitched that. And then they'll all be facing in that direction over there, which something will happen. So if you have any ideas towards that, please let me know. And then the platform spins around. And we should get a different direction being faced, and then here we go. The ride properly begins. As you can see in the center, the incense is going to start burning. There you go. That was perfect timing. And all the ride cars are still spinning. There's some lanterns around there that are spinning and sort of dropping down. And then here we go. Here comes the first sort of raise up of the ride, and a little bit of tilting as well. I thought it'd be really cool to, instead of like Danse Macabre, if anyone has done it, that's a very sort of family-friendly version. There's a bit of airtime here and there. There's some really nice graceful spinning, but I wanted this to be thrilling instead. I thought it'd be quite cool. And as you can see, it goes a bit faster. Also, making it more thrilling meant the game would actually work for it, because you can't spin them really slow normally. Yeah, the ride cars are spinning and the lighting is sort of changing. And as you can see, the lights went green and we span the different direction. And then it starts to slow down occasionally. Still spinning quite a lot. I really, really like how the sort of lanterns and stuff really complements how the actual ride looks. And you can see them dropping down. And throughout the ride, like I said, if any of you have any ideas for the sort of storyline, which could include like a dragon or the New Year stuff, that could happen around you, like in the windows or up there in those little holes. Yeah. I mean, if you want to see a full POV of this, and when, oh, we lagged there. I'm sure I'll show you it next episode, but if you want to see a full video dedicated to it, check out my second channel, because I'm uploading separate videos of all the POVs in the park. I just love how the fire, when it goes off, just lights up the entire outer ring of the building. Like, you'll see it now. There it goes. I didn't even want it to do that, but it's done it, and it looks amazing. And then there it goes back again. So yeah, this is really, really cool. And then this is the final bit. The platform levels out, you all spin back round to face the center, and you drop like so. And then as the incense burns, you all start spinning around it slowly. And the animatronics, again, a little bit of an example with the lanterns there, they'll just start doing their final actions before they sort of lock off and go elsewhere when the room goes dark. And well, the room is already pretty dark. Here we go, slowing down. There you go. And then you would get off and exit in one of the doors. I can't remember which one it is. But yeah, like said, I'm so unbelievably, I don't know how I've done this, but somehow I have. And it's definitely one of my favorite things I've built in the game. Not yet, because I haven't finished it. Once I've finished it and put all the animatronics around, it might be my favorite thing. But to see it spinning and like tilting like it has, I don't know. Not very often I think, oh, I actually did all right at something for once. And then eventually you'll exit out a door to here. And then obviously that building won't be there. But you'll see the entire land built around you. Like said, I apologise the fact that this is nowhere near complete yet on the outside or anything. And you're sort of seeing a very work in progress build. But I think it will be forgiven when I tell you that the next coaster that I'm going to build in the next episode is a Mack Extreme spinning coaster. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see that next week. See you later.